Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. As you noticed, I'm out here in the workshop, and today it's December 23rd. We've just finished up this turmeric video, and I want to say, for those of you that say, why go to the bother of freeze drying turmeric? Well, if you want a good organic grade turmeric, you want to know what's in it, then for sure you grow your own. Now, for those of you that's not familiar with turmeric, and I'm going to say I'm not a medical professional, but you can research and find all your information. Turmeric is a really healthy supplement and a good herb for a lot of your foods. You can find a lot of recipes, maybe even pickles where they have turmeric in them, stuff like that. I use it in a drink every morning. And what it is turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. And John Hopkins, I just happened to Google, see what come up for benefits. And they say that it helps fight cancer and heart issues. So that would be always good. But it's because it's an anti-inflammatory, it takes away all that inflammation in your body. So it's an excellent thing to have if it's good. You don't want a turmeric that might be say it's organically grown, but they've had so much problems finding heavy metals and stuff and all these others. If you want to know what's in it, grow it yourself organically. So let's get into this process. All right. We got our turmeric here, and this has already been, we just kind of scrape it, clean it up, get good quality turmeric, get all the skin. That is the most tedious job, time consuming. But if you're going to take the time to grow turmeric, to process it, to have good quality stuff on your shelf, that's what it looks like. It's ready to go. It gets put in the food processor. Seems like this year the food processor has really been getting the work out this year. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're just going to take, and once it's processed, we just run it through the processor using the grater side of it so we can get it broke down good. Now, you could probably freeze dry this stuff whole, but if you did that, what's going to happen is you're probably going to have a hard time getting the thicker places done up versus the thinner places. So this is the way I'm going to recommend. Now, this is my first time doing turmeric, and it's going to come out fine. Just use a little forethought. And like I said, when you do this, make sure that you take and get it in small enough pieces where it can freeze dry good. Now we're just going to put this back together. And as you can see, we've got our grater side up. And we're going to do another batch now. I'm not going to sit here with the camera rolling doing that because we don't need all the noise. Okay, we have our trays filled up. Now I pressed this down where it was kind of solid against the bottom. My logic to this is heat transfers better. Now it does have heat that comes from the top too, but we want to make sure that this gets dried good. So anyway, there we go. We're ready to continue. We're just going to close our drain and hit the continue and let her start freezing. Okay, we're complete. Now this went 38 hours, but I added about an extra 18 hours to it because it was going to end in the middle of the night. I wanted a good 10, and so these are good and dry. We're going to take these over there. I like it to be warm whenever I finish. For those of you that don't think that's important. When they're warm, it's not like when they're cold. When they're cold, they start drawing moisture to them right off. And so if I'm going to powder these up, I want to get good and dry. And I don't want any room moisture. If it's raining, that can cause a problem too. We've got quite a bit of turmeric. It is definitely good and dry. And we're going to start this process. Let me go ahead and we're going to go ahead and defrost this. Well, I better hit one more time. Are you getting dizzy yet? Okay. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to process this, and that's a lot to go in this little coffee grinder. But we're going to process this up, and it works best when we put more in there with it after we grind that first, because if it doesn't have a lot, it's not going to grind up. And it depends on how long you run it, because right now it's still a little bit coarse. We're going to run it a little bit longer. And then that's where we're going to be. Now we'll put an oxygen absorber in our jar here. Now we're using pint jars for this. We could use bigger jars, but if we did, we wouldn't use them up fast enough, take up more space. Now but that 200 will give it extra protection on there. And we're just going to complete this till we get this whole thing done. Okay, and there you go. We've got a little over 4.5 jars out of that. Now that turmeric that we started with was, before we started scraping it and cleaning it up, was almost a half a bushel, probably 9/10 full. And as you can see, once it's freeze dried, and that was 5 trays in that large freeze dryer, this is what we have left. And this is a lot of turmeric. It is powdered up good. It's super fine. Now what we do is we always put oxygen absorbers in the bottom, and then we use our little vacuum sealer to pull the vacuum, so it's kind of double check, because I don't want someone coming back and say, well, you got all that air in there, that oxygen absorber is not going to work as well. Well, there's not really air in there because it's in a vacuum, so the oxygen's pulled out. But this is what we got. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Hope you grow your own turmeric. And if you want to see more videos like this, not necessarily just on freeze drying, but growing, self-sufficiency, well, just hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and select all. Give it a big thumbs up, and of course, share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.